completely unscathed. Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to Wrestling Gab. It is Wednesday of all days of the week. Hump day! We're watching some AEW Dynamite. Kyle Fletcher almost beat MJF right there. MJF did have his huge flag out there with his face as the stars. That's Dalitha. I am Travis, and we're just watching wrestling. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, is it because he's up against an Australian? Is that why?
No, he just has that flag. That's his thing. Because he's an American. Look at his shorts. He's American.
Okay.
He is a It's because he's the American champion, and that other guy from Europe is the enemy. Oh, Offspray.
Oh, Jimmy. It was Jimmy Carter.
That's right, Jimmy. Oh, Jim Carter.
Anyways, we do have people in the chat. Sorry we're a little bit late tonight, guys, but, that's just how it is sometimes. Let's see. We've got Walter in the chat. Hey, Walter. We also have Janelle out there. Chris is with us tonight. P. Cola. Sophie's in here making an appearance, maybe for a moment, maybe for a while. And Brandon Stevens is with us. Hey, everybody.
Woo-hoo.
Walter says, hello, Travis. Hey, Daphne, AEW Dynamite tonight. Daphne, good news. Won twice. Got Chick-fil-A and Starbucks gift cards. Well, Walter, you finally made up for the times you were losing. But good. I'm glad you got a Chick-fil-A. Awesome.
What's your
go-to order at Chick-fil-A there, Walter? Janelle said hi, and Chris says, what the fuck is up? Travis said D. I don't know. What the fuck is up? Sexy Mariah May tonight. I guess that's what's up.
Hopefully.
Pico says, please, 6 pounds, 7 ounce baby Jesus. No weirdos in the chat tonight. Yeah, that'd be nice, because then I won't have to read weird things. Walter says, Kyle for the win. I guess he doesn't like MJF. Sophie says, hi, did you hear there's a rumor?
Nice. Love rumor.
From what's his face? What's that guy? Trust me, bro?
Oh,
then they might tape Raw on Sunday nights the day after an international pay-per-view so the talent could rest up.
Wow.
I feel like that is...
Hold on a second.
Something they shouldn't do at all.
Okay, so... They're going to wrestle on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And then they're going to
Make
have to find a building and wrestle on Sunday night to rest. Wouldn't they get more rest if they just waited till Monday?
Yes.
Other question would be, now don't you have to bring all the riffraff with you?
Yes.
Internationally, so that they can be there on Monday, even though you didn't. And then, you know how all these tabloid people are, the ones that don't like surprises?
Mm-hmm. No surprises.
Anybody that was going to be a call-up or anything would be there the whole weekend.
Oh, yeah.
You can't tell me they can hide somebody. Like, oh, Brock's going to show up on
They're going to have him in disguises.
Monday. They're going to fly Brock in for one... No.
Just one.
That's tough. I mean, obviously, they can do whatever they want.
Uh-oh,
kangaroo kick time.
Oh, no. Chris says we need Maxine, May, Scarlett, Harley, Cameron, middle of ring, scissoring time, Taco Town. That would be a pay-per-view sellout right there. Walter says, okay, at 9 p.m. I'm going. I'll be here Monday for Raw. I got a movie on Friday. Well, I hope you feel good enough to go, Walter. I know you missed last week's. Sophie says, I heard the Lucha Bros might be going to the WWE once their AEW contract expires.
So I don't know what's going on in WWE because they don't like tag team wrestling. Vince didn't, and Triple H is still showing that.
Right.
But there are a few tag teams coming. And so maybe, just maybe, delete this, done fiddling. They are going to have a tag division. It sounds like if the Lucha Bros go there, they already got, I don't know all those letters, but the Machine Gun people, they're supposedly coming.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with it. I love tag team wrestling. That's why I liked AEW when it first started, is it had the greatest tag team division on the planet. First of all, because WWE doesn't have one. Not only does it not have one, it has 2 sets of titles.
Yes.
That's weird. Such weird.
Chris, like, Sophie, that's BS, man. These soft-ass wrestlers have it good these days. They need to suck it up and make those goddamn red-eye flights and jet lag, damn it. Yeah, and they need to, like, be all mean to the flight attendants and show their dicks off and whatnot, too.
Yeah.
It's not the same anymore. They need to be more hardcore.
Helicopter that shit.
Sophie says Raw was an awesome show on Monday. They are taking NXT on the road for their CW premiere with CM Punk on October 1st and Randy Orton on October 8th. And Piccolo says, nope, watching Buffy, LOL. And Harley says, hello, everyone. Just wanted to stop by and say hello. Well, hello, Harley. I don't know if you're still in here, but hopefully you are. If not, hello.
It looks like
good to see ya.
Camille Brickhouse or whatever. She's going 2-on-1 tonight.
Interesting.
This is the worst buffering I've ever seen. But I don't want to change it because I want to know who won. And if I change it, then it's going to
be all weird.
It'll skip it.
True.
So it's like Korea.
Let's see. Chris then says, Sophie, do you listen to any wrestling podcasts after Raw or SmackDown or even AEW and TNA? If so, there are some that shit all over the product as they should because it's trash shows. Piccolo's like, wrestling. I'm on vacay. Nice. Brandon Stevens in the chat says, hi, Wrestling Gab. Hey, Brandon. Sophie said, I'm watching something else. See you Friday or see you later. All right. Quentin's in the chat as well. Says Wesley turned heel last night. Yeah, that's really not going to help his tiny little character, but okay. Chris says they should have beat up Wesley. Not only that, they should stuff him in a box and send him somewhere.
Yeah, nobody cares about Wesley.
Like,
it's a terrible name.
Timbuktu.
Ooh. Which is in Africa, if you guys don't know.
Piccolo says, remind me who Wesley is. Nobody.
He was a tag team guy, and then his tag team partner had allegations, and so they cut him, and then they gave him some weird push. It's an NXT guy. If you don't watch NXT, you won't know, but he's absolutely nobody.
Harley says, hello, everyone. Please stop me by to say hello. Hi, Harley. Again. Hello. Hello. So it was like, I do listen to some podcasts and some of them praise the show on Monday. Pickle's like, what up, Harley? Sophie says, I don't know that many wrestling channels that cover the TNA show nowadays, however. Piccolo says, living life in this heat, stormy weather, I suppose. Chris says, I told you more participation trophies with these please? PLEs?
Yeah.
Walter says, come on, Kyle. And Quentin says, Piccolo Wesley is a current NXT superstar. Let's not push it, Quentin. Superstar.
Just say
that's just giving him
NXT
too
wrestler.
much credit for being something when they're nothing. A former North American champion, he was once a member of MSK and was injured before he came back. Sophie's like, I think this past SummerSlam has been the greatest SummerSlam in the past 10 years.
Really?
Are you regurgitating somebody else's opinion? Walter says, I'm glad I won bingo today. I'm happy. Me too, Walter. I'm glad you won today as well. Makes me happy.
I just miss the days when wrestling was, like, cool and important. It did used to be. I'm not kidding. Like,
right? Chris says, also Machines Guns still coming versus Lucha Bros. As Piccolo says, MCMG, LOL. Hello. Piccolo's like, no. Not gonna talk SA again. No, not the diddlin'. Robbie's like, what is up, you frauds? Not much, Robbie. How are you doing? Piccolo says, I like to go to 2-on-1. No, not gonna be speaking nasty and such. Cold shower now. Harley's like, you're still in here just kind of under the weather, kind of dealing with some mental stuff. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Harley. Piccolo says, I want to talk Deadpool and Wolverine stuff. Anyone? Bueller. So he says, I noticed YouTube has done something with the live chat, like they have a summary or something.
Who did?
The
company. The last comment you read.
Oh. Sophie said, I noticed YouTube has done something with the live chat. Like they have a summary or something.
Huh.
Piccolo says, yeah, I don't care. To be fair, Wesley and the other tag guy, they fell off my radar.
Yeah, absolutely.
AI. And so he's like, I haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet. And Chris says, superstar, he is goddamn jobber at best. And Ravi says, this is a fun little match. And Chris says, even Akira Tozawa is better than Wesley. Even R-Truth is better. Pico's like, superstar. Now I sniff my hands once I had them under my armpits. Rebecca Chalice is in the chat here. Rebecca says, hey, good news. Weather looks good now. Bad news. Debbie is coming soon. You over on the East Coast there, Rebecca? You over in North or South Carolina? Yeah, it went off the coast and now it's going to come back and hit North and South Carolina.
What is it?
Tropical storm Debbie.
Debbie.
Old Debbie.
They started over, huh?
It's little Debbie. It was Big Deborah, but now it's just little Debbie.
Damn.
And Robbie says, I'm chilling. Can't lie, I fell asleep during this second hour of Raw and slept right through. I don't blame you.
I could have.
There were things that should have happened that didn't, as in us sleeping. Chris like, Lil Debbie, we may have one coming again next week here in the Gulf. Harley says, do we finally know to see Brock Lesnar versus Groom first since June 3rd is the world champion Gunther?
Old Gunther.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't want Brock to take the title from him, and I don't want him to lose to Gunther, so I'd rather that wrestling match not happen.
Pickle says, Debbie was chilling in the Florida waters. We were just snack caking it up. Sounds like it, Pickle. Although you're on the inside, and I heard it was on the outside, on the east of Florida. So you probably got the rains, but probably nothing too crazy. Maybe some torrential downpours here and there.
Some water for your lawns.
Yeah.
You know, every time I think of a hurricane, and it's from my childhood,
You
obviously.
think of a hurricane all the time?
Every
Whenever
time
you do?
I think of a hurricane.
Yeah.
I think of Gilligan's Island when they tie themselves to the trees.
Oh, yeah. Because that makes a difference.
So I can't help it. Like every time I'm like, I just picture Shane or anybody I know in Florida, you know, even Picola now. It's like they're just tying themselves to chains. Or to
Chaining
the tree.
themselves to trees so they don't get fly away in the hurricane winds. Anymore, it'd be terrifying as you'd have one of the, whatchamacallits right at you, a 2x4, while you're on the, tree. Uh-oh, he didn't do very good. What happened?
Obviously,
he must have
got hurt or started
either that
bad.
or he, something happened weird. Oh, he knocked down the first one.
Which is fine.
He did better that run, I guess.
Finished first. Not bad.
Huh, how strange.
Those hurdles are higher than you think.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't mind them in junior high. But when we got into high school, I was like, I can't jump that high. Like, of course you can. I'm like, not even going to try it, so I don't know.
Pickle says, yeah, Jax had more rain. I bet. Ravi says, Travis, what direction do you see AEW going to next?
Direction?
Do they even have a direction?
I don't think they have direction. It really just depends on what they want to do. I mean, if they get a big old contract with Warner Brothers that's 5 years, $2 billion or something, then they'll have a lot of options. But they also, like, it just goes to show you that, like, you don't have to have a lot of talent to have TV deals.
Yeah.
I feel like it is prime to strike right now if you wanted to start a wrestling company. Like TNA, it just has a bad reputation. And it's on a shitty network. Mm-hmm. Like, they should go to or USA and be like, look, give us your Monday splits, you know.
Right.
and we'll go one-on-one with WWE. We'll do it like Vince did it back in the day. To be honest, we could just bring Vince in. I'm sure he'd come in.
Right. Oh, I thought they were kissing.
I wouldn't
like,
doubt it.
why were they kissing?
That's what they do in their private life.
Robbie says Nia Jax just knows how to jiggle, nothing more. And Piccolo says the only time we had to evacuate was maybe Hurricane Opal. That was like 92, 93 maybe. You know, the late 1900s.
Yeah.
Where we had to cover our wagons and horses, right? Sounds about right. It was the only time you really had to chain yourself to a tree during a hurricane. Chris says, Travis, let's talk boxing for a sec. It's because had this convo the other day in another wrestling stream after Raw. So who is better, Ali or Tyson? I say Ali because his speed. Mike only has power punch.
Okay, well,
if he could land it.
Like the argument, I like where your head's at, but Ali isn't the greatest because of his boxing. That's the thing. Like, Ali lost quite a bit, and he lost to really good boxers quite a bit. And his fame came from he was all about politics, and it was at a time when the civil rights movement was moving forward, and it was important at the time what he was doing, and that's why he was so popular and then over hyped as a boxer. Tyson, on the other hand, had a really small window that nobody realizes of greatness. He was really good for like 3 years, and then they put him on medication because he was a crazed animal. And once he went on those meds, he didn't have that anymore. He wasn't Iron Mike Tyson anymore. And he was only like 25, 26 when he started the medications and all that. And so his career is really short. So if you took them both in their primes, and he still had Costomato as his trainer, he would win if he had Costomato still. His stepfather, his mentor, his whole entire life. But once Costomato died, it was all downhill. You know, but that's how I look at it, is Ali, his greatness wasn't because of his boxing. Boxing made what he was talking about great, and then that's what that's all about. But he was still good. I still consider him like a top 3 boxer of all time. Even top 2. But I just think Tyson's little window was greater. And trust me, his speed was second to none. I don't think Ali was faster than him. If you watch Tyson when he was 19, 20, 21, 22, in that era, before he got arrested, before he was beating his wife and raping women, and
right, yeah.
like I said, he went absolutely crazy. Every time I see all this stuff, all this hype about Mike Tyson, I always think of, you know, I'm like, there's some woman that's still alive that he raped. Yep. You know, like, and they never talk about it, you know, and is Tyson so, you know, this Jake Paul fight and all that. And by the way, we all have a special place in our hearts for Mike Tyson. It's just, there is somebody out there that got traumatized by him. That, at least we think, you know.
Right.
I mean, he was convicted of it, so I can confidently say it. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I don't know if it was like a he said, she said, and it just became a conviction. But he was convicted of it. So I don't have to say trust me about it. But, you know, and then he would throw Robin Williams, or whatever her name was, Robin Givens, through, like, windows and beat her up all the time. Like, he was an absolute crazed animal. Supposedly.
Robbie says, I saw some of the women. Oh, by the way, MJF did win that match.
Yeah, he beat the crap out of
MJF won. He
did it with a brain buster.
Yeah. So, Chalice came down there and tried to give a screwdriver to that Fletcher guy. He didn't take it. He threw it out, and then MJF gave him a low blow. And then he hit the ref with his belt. Had locked Will Ospreay in his thing in the back. So, oh no, everybody's not doing good. He's like, oh no, I'm so upset.
Poor Australian.
Blah, 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 blah. Robbie says this says some of the women's and men's skateboarding that was quality. The young girl from Great Britain did really well. Plus,
The
Tony Hawk was
16-year-old?
there.
Was she the 16-year-old? I know there's a 16-year-old that's really good.
Yeah. Where were you for him? Yeah, Tony Hawk usually is there for that kind of stuff. Anyways, Piccolo also says thing about TV deals with smaller wrestling promotions. We were used to having them shown late night on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Piccolo also says, I remember mid-2000s had HD Net where ROH was attempting to have a weekly show. HD Net was a cable network bought by Mark Cuban.
Nice.
Huh. Robbie says, did you like Carl Froch as a boxer?
I don't even know who that is.
Vindicator says, hi guys, so a big win for that real American Maxwell Jackass freeloader, huh? Look like it.
MJF.
Robbie says, he's your mate, Vin, LOL. And Vindicator's like, hey, Robbie, what's shaking in good old England? And Chris says, what about George Foreman, LOL? The grills are fantastic.
Right. You know he didn't invent those, but yes, the grill is badass. George Foreman's a bad dude. Like, a bad dude.
Different type of boxer.
He was different when he was young, and then when he came back in the 90s and was dominating there, he changed the sport to what we see today with the big, tall, heavyweight that just jabs.
Yeah, they just stand there.
Anthony Joshua.
Don't do anything.
The Klitschko's. Oh, he didn't get over. He landed on his back.
Ouch. Shame, USA.
Hey!
Shame. It's because he's a
Mariah's
ginger.
on my TV.
It's because he has no soul.
Soulless. Oh, she's got a shoe.
Yeah, it's that shoe that she stole.
That's a giant shoe.
Tony has big feet, I guess.
It's definitely
She has
not
man
Cinderella. Look at the size of
Man feet. Manly feet. Piccolo says, so he soared Tyson and had a real KO highlight reel as a kid. It certainly felt like a quick timeline.
It was. It really was. Because once he went to prison and got out and did that whole comeback. You remember his comeback? It was like Peter McNeely and there were some other guys in there before he fought Holyfield and all that. It was like he didn't have what he had before. And I'm pretty sure it was the drugs that he was on. And when I say the drugs, I'm talking about whatever they gave him, like whether it's Seroquel or whatever type of drug they gave him to calm him down. It took that edge off that he had before. He's still good. Still had talent. He just didn't want to kill people. Is this that, what's her name, girl? That they used to kiss? Or is this a different girl?
No, it's not her.
Mariah May.
No,
Taking her
I
to
don't know who this
Suplex
lady
City.
is.
I don't know either, but she's barely covered.
Robbie's like, Vin, it all gravy. How are you? And Piccolo says middleweight division back in the day. My dad enjoyed Hagler, Heems, Leonard, and Duran.
Oh, yeah. Duran. Just saying.
Vindicator says, doing good anytime I can watch a real wrestling show. So, England, did you guys win a bunch of gold medals yet? And then Vindicator says, here's my baby Mariah. And Robbie says, I used to have a George Foreman grill with a bun warmer on the top.
Oh, nice.
That's funny.
I never had that one. I did have Foreman grills coming out of my ears, though.
Chris says, we need some Mina Shirakawa boobs on screen.
Yes.
Robbie says, Carl Froch, look up Carl Froch boxer. He's quality. Pickle says, yep, in the barracks, if we didn't have a Foreman grill, we would just order pizzas 24/7.
Right.
Sophie says, America has been getting almost all the gold medals. Good.
I think China's right there with us, or they were.
Yeah.
This second week, though, we'll run away with it because China doesn't have all the events that we have.
Chris says, Travis, who would you say is the greatest wrestling jobber of all time, if of any era? So that WWF, WCW, WWE now, or even AEW, I'd say R-Truth is best because he was an NWA World Champion.
Right. Whew. I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. It's kind of a weird thing to think about, right? Like the greatest jobber. And how can he be a jobber if you're a world champion? But I get it. Like, so you mean like jobber in one company but good in another company? Because if you go that route, you could say Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, he was basically a jobber in WCW. Or you could say Chris Jericho or Eddie Guerrero.
Right.
But no, you're probably right. It's probably R-Truth. Like, he's the funniest wrestler that I've ever seen that is still around. Like, he is still relevant and around, and it's not because he wrestles.
Right.
He is something special, and it has nothing to do with his wrestling ability. Like the Bobby Heenan of the modern era. Bobby Heenan wrestled, by the way. Like, a lot of people don't realize that. Somebody tried to murder him one night.
Who?
Bobby Heenan.
Oh.
Yeah, he was at a show and somebody shot at him.
Oh, God.
The crowd, like, scattered and everything.
Let's see. Robbie had said, also look up Kell Brook. He was quality too. Picola says, I think we actually have more silver and bronze medals. Robbie says, Tony Hawk's, he looks good for his age. Picola's like, Brooklyn Brawler or Mike. Pico's like, ha ha ha. Ironically, it was a WWF jobber called Iron Mike Sharp.
No, Mike Sharp.
Pico's like, just Googled him. That he feels, I guess, as a jobber. The best in the world. Chris says, I'd say Mr. Perfect number 2 because he was IC champ but never got to WWF title level.
I don't consider that a jobber, though. I mean, he was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, then Roddy Piper.
Right.
I mean, he was spectacular in different companies and excelled, but never was a world champion.
Right, yeah.
But I didn't know we were doing that. So, like, the greatest mid-card wrestler to never win the championship, it's got to be Roddy Piper. Trying to think if there's anybody else. Maybe Ravishing Rick Rude. I still think Piper's probably better than Rick Rude. But for all I know, Rick Rude might have won the title at some point. I don't remember him ever being champion, but...
Piccola says, which manager had the better group faction, Travis? Heenan's family or Heyman's Dangerous Alliance? We need a 10-minute breakdown, LOL.
Oh, shit. I don't know enough about Heyman, because you're probably talking about ECW stuff. And then Heenan, when he was in WWF, was obviously, in my opinion, the greatest ever. Heyman, I just think of him as Paulie Dangerously in WCW. But I really didn't watch ECW, guys. Like, I'm not kidding when I say that. I knew nothing about it. I didn't know anything about Stone Cold going there. To be honest, I didn't know it existed until WWF owned it. And they put it on TV, and it was just like this off-brand wrestling. I didn't hate it by any means, because RVD came from it, and I liked RVD.
Right.
All I knew was WWF and WCW. And the AWA, but that was before. Mariah May with the dub.
Over some lady, do we even know who she is?
No idea.
Exactly.
explode on the shoe.
Vindicator says, Travis, you believe Mariah will become the new champion, don't ya?
I would like her to, but... And who knows? Like, it's AEW. I feel like neither of these two should be world champion, so... Like the one that's currently world champion.
Oh, look, she got a gift from old Timeless Tony. What's it gonna be?
A picture of her.
What kind of picture is it gonna be? Of herself? Is it...
What's it say on the back?
Is it her dead face? Oh, it's that.
It says something on the back.
Die, Mariah, die.
No! But Randy Savage front
You know
row.
what would be even better is if it was like made out of whatchamacallit. Like from magazines
Newspapers.
and shit.
Yeah.
Like really like blown up ones.
Like serial
Letters,
killer.
like serial killer shit. That would have been way crazier. I would have liked it a lot better.
Uh-oh. They're fighting over a shoe. You fight like a woman.
I fight like a woman. Pico's like Rick Rude. He was always a bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Chris says, yeah, Piper and then Rick Rude, but he did win World Heavyweight title in WCW.
Oh, did he? Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Robbie says, you remember Nigel Benn, the box from the 90s?
Yes. Connor Ben's dad or whatever, I believe.
Chris says, Sandman and Tommy Dreamer, best ECW jobber because Sandman only got titles when someone left the company, and Dreamer said he never wanted to be champ, which makes no sense. Why would you wrestle then? Some people just like to do it. That doesn't mean that they want to be a leader.
Yeah.
Being a champion means that you have to be a persona that maybe you know deep down you can't pull off. And knowing your limits, there's nothing wrong with knowing your limits on that kind of stuff. Because in all reality, hopefully they would respect that and use you to their advantage in situations that would not only better their company, but better that individual as that character. And that's where they have to really know what they want, right? And the person that's the guy or whoever, right, that's saying it, they have to be able to push back on those people to really forcefully say, I do not want this. One, it will make them look weak instead of being the best they can in what they are. That's how I see it anyways.
Right. I can think of an example immediately with Lex Luger. He did not want to beat Ric Flair for the championship, and it was all set up. And they're like, okay, you're going to be the new champion. And he's like, I just don't want that responsibility. I'm not that guy.
Right.
And so they had to figure out something else. And then Ric Flair told him he'd walk him through it and, you know, be his friend after, you know, like during his title run. Not on TV.
Right.
Like, dude, I'll walk you through it. I'll coach you as your champion.
Yeah.
But so it is a lot of responsibility to be the world champion because you have to do things that you're out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. And some people it just doesn't work for.
For some people, it's their comfort zone.
Yeah,
That's just what they do.
They can totally be an asshole if they have to be, or goody if they have to be, or whatever, right?
Charlotte can go on talk shows and
or be a mouthpiece,
be
the person that if somebody talks about wrestling, you know, they're like, oh yeah, so and so, because they're the champion because they made themselves relevant, not the person who's like, who's that?
Yeah. Live more.
Let's see. Vindicator says, so I guess Storm has transitioned from pseudo-silent actress to pseudo-psycho, but I noticed they have dropped the black and white filter, LOL.
Yeah, they did. Well, she's black and white.
Well, she's been wearing black and white clothes lately.
She paints her face white.
And I think that they're weird when it comes to storylines like that. They like, instead of continuing them on for her to like be a stand-up whatever she should have been, and then went psycho in the ring, I think it would be have been better.
Yeah.
But
it is what it is.
But
it gives them
whatever.
freedom, and then
that's how they go.
They
That's
sink or swim themselves.
what AEW does with their ideas. And whoever the idea, if it comes from the wrestlers, then that's pretty dumb on their part. Piccola says, oh no. So I believe Heyman, since I seen his A&W special a week ago, he had Stunning Steve, Rick Rude, Bobby Eaton, Arn Anderson, and, sorry D, Larry Zbyszko.
Yeah, you got it.
We love a good lesbian love triangle. He said for some other stuff, but he with your whatever faction family stuff had the better group. So he's going with Heyman's group.
Yeah, see, there again, I'm the WCW guy, and so I look at it as more along the lines of Stunning Steve Austin wasn't great until he got to WWE.
Right, he was like a nobody and then became something.
Yeah, he did have the United States Championship for a minute. Because that's the WCW Championship that came over when Vince bought it, was the U.S. Championship. The Intercontinental Championship was a WWE title, or WWF title.
Vindicator says, I'm glad I missed that moment, P-Cole. I don't think Rick Rude would look good in a bridesmaid's dress, LOL. P-Cole's like, haha, Vin. And then Chris says, yeah, they fucked up with Eddie then, because he also never wanted to be champ, so possibly a factor to his death. Hate to say it. Could have been, but it could have not been also.
Drugs. Dude, those guys were just juice, and they weren't that big when they were in WCW. I remember them being just cruiserweight jobbers, and then when I started watching WWE or WWF, because I had to, because it got bought, and I was like, oh my god, Eddie Guerrero's ginormous. Like, he was still short, and just like Chris Benoit, they were just like these like giant midgets. Because they weren't very tall, but they were just massive.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are they on? Like horse steroids?
Right, probably.
That's what it looked like.
Most likely.
Just huge. I'm like, they have designer steroids, guys, that aren't so bad for your body.
Right.
But all those guys were dying. The British Bulldog died. Brian Pillman died in their 30s. Mm-hmm. I think Eddie was in his 30s. I don't know how old Benoit was, but I would assume he was in his 30s. A lot of death in their 30s from, well, obviously Benoit's was different.
Yeah. Pickle says, can you believe Rude had so much heat back in the day because of Jake Roberts' old lady wanting him?
That's so funny.
And basically Jake's wife's face was on Rude's thighs or tights. Yeah, airbrushed or whatever.
Loved it.
Luger,
back in those days, it was awesome.
Luger was green as fuck. He may have debuted like 87, then fighting in the main event with Dusty Flair, Road Warriors.
Yeah. Well, it was his look. Immediately when he stepped on the scene, that look was just like, oh, shit.
Vindicator says Braun is basically the new Luger, football player turned wrestler, and now he is already an IC champion.
Yeah. Except for he comes from a family.
Yeah.
That's done it. And so it's a little bit different.
Yeah. He's a Nepo baby. Pickle says the one thing like a complete memory bubble I had. So there was a time limit draw in the state of Maryland in 1988. It was when Luger had Flair in a torture rack, and the trainers' judges had immediately DQ'd Luger due to his forehead bleeding at the end of the championship match, so Flair retained.
Right. Some great matches back in those days, by the way.
Vindicator says, you guys still giving that living trash Charlotte some credit for anything? Some things never change. You have to give her credit, Vin.
She's still the greatest woman of all time. I'm not going to, take it away from her. I mean, she's up there with Moolah. I don't know if Moolah's better than her or not. Moolah, obviously, her title reign is never, ever going to be even touched. It's so out of reach that they don't even talk about it.
Well, that and the fact that they would never be able to have a woman have the title that long because they make it completely irrelevant as it is now.
Right.
I mean, at least when she probably had it, it probably meant something because it was special. Now they mean nothing. Like, every woman who's had it for the last 10 years have been, oh, wow, you have the title of the women's title? Whoop-de-fucky-do.
Right.
Like, the only one that kind of made it kind of into something was Becky, just because of how she took it and how she had it the first time that she had it, and that was it. After that, it just became blah. And Charlotte's had it so many times, every title. Who fucking cares? Like, that's how I look at it. I feel like the women's division is lackluster on every program I watch, including AEW. They try to make it not, but it really is just as lackluster. It means absolutely nothing.
It's because people buy tickets to watch the dudes wrestle. That's what it all boils down to.
And that's fine, but I mean, like, they were on their road to try to make the women's division into something. And they were doing pretty good about making it relevant to a certain point of it means something, it's important, and we're going to continue down that road. Whether it was sex sells a little bit here and there or whatever, right? And then they had to bring some dumb cunt into it and ruined everything because they just gave her the title because of what she was. Fuck her.
And she beat Bliss for the title.
It's like, fuck off. Like, that's the point of shit that I can't stand anymore. And I see it, they do it with a lot of stuff.
It ruined Ruby Riott, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It completely ruined her.
Completely.
And
like, any momentum that she had as a character of any kind.
She was
coming. They fucked them.
Yeah.
They fucked multiple of those girls with that shit.
And every time you watched her wrestle, they would say, the future. She's the future.
Yep.
She's the future.
Yep.
And once Ronda got there, Ronda jobbed her like 2 or 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, oh, shit.
Yep.
And that was it.
And I've lost all respect. All respect for WWE and their, we care about our women's division. Like, fuck off.
Well, that's
you don't give a good goddamn.
That's when they did that because she was so popular, that Evolution pay-per-view.
Fuck.
And then, I can't remember, I think it was Bliss got hurt. And so she couldn't be in the main event against Trish Stratus. Or not the main event, but one of the main events.
Right.
And it was just, oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, like they fly up there. It's crazy.
6 seconds. Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
They could get away from a cougar.
And then they, like, will have one girl where they're like, okay, we're going to do this one. And then they have a good run and they do really good things. And then they trip. Then they trip again. And then they trip again. And I don't care. Like, Chris has mentioned Lacey Evans. I get it. Yeah, but she got pregnant and blah, blah, blah. That was her own fault. She went and decided that she wanted to get her family going and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. Have another kid, yada, yada, whatever.
Anytime you get knocked up by Ric Flair, you know that you're in
the
trouble.
thing of it is like, they didn't, and I don't care if Ric Flair is part of your shit anymore or not. You bring that bitch back as what she was, and that's how you start. Not bring her back as a fucking completely different character because why? Because she didn't like how it was going? Like, well, bitch, if you were so, like, you know, having such problems with old Vincey Poo and you were down on your knees too much, there's no good goddamn way that you'd be having fucking kids and shit.
Yeah, I don't understand why she
so
tried to do
about yourself.
the soldier card.
I
It doesn't work.
I get it that it's part of her past, but fuck, bitch, you could have made it part of you and been the Southern Belle at the same time because you are from the fucking South.
Right.
Like, stop. Like, we know you can be a bad bitch. You don't have to fucking have it, I'm in my military outfit to do it. Like, look at me, I was a Marine. But I'm a victim. I'm a victim.
I didn't have a dad.
Kind of crap. That shit just bugs me. Bringing their personal life shit into their characters is sick. And I don't know who decided that that was a good idea. What fucking writer, Triple H, whatever dumb fuck in the back, or them themselves, who like to bring their fucking personal lives into their fucking writing and their storylines. Grow the fuck up, people. Like, get it the fuck out of the ring. I don't think it belongs. And you wonder why these people are crazy and do the weird shit they do. Like, oh my God, what was it? Stalking? Trying to kill them? Because you share too much of your fucking personal lives on everything. You're supposed to be a persona. That's not you. That's somebody else. It's a character. I personally just don't get it. Why on earth they would want to share so much of their personal lives? It is beyond me of knowing why.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Especially with their being what they are and seen by millions upon millions upon millions of people all the time. It makes no sense.
What the hell kind of match is this? It's just two dudes just standing there.
Well, that's the
I know who
guy.
they both are.
Okay.
I'm just saying they're both just standing there.
It's the same crap that they did with, what was it, that dumb one that What's-His-Face was in not too long ago? Chris. Jericho and that other guy. And they just sit there and just slapped each other the whole time for like 55 minutes.
Is that what they do in Japan? Is this Japanese wrestling? Do they just headbutt and slap?
They slap, they headbutt, they do weird little moves like this, and they roll around on the ground a couple times. I feel like that's all that is.
I haven't really watched the Japanese
Me neither,
style,
but
it's like, holy crap.
I feel like that's what it is.
I wonder if that's why people liked Will Ospreay and stuff, is because he did a little bit more.
Yeah,
and they're just used
more
to
active.
them slapping each other.
Maybe.
Like, oh, he's the greatest in the world.
Vindicator says, for a guy with the nickname Bounty Hunter, he has not become a big deal since joining AEW.
No, he's not very
He
good.
goes like Warlord passed pretty young too, so let me put this in the hat. They didn't have Moolah working. She held on to titles, although it was like a match once every 6 months or so, maybe longer.
Oh yeah, it was like Roman Reigns back in the day.
The women's division wasn't that great, and
They only had like Wendy Richter and her, or whatever. You know, obviously they might have had more than that, but and the women were always like just some random lady that looked like she came out of the audience.
Chris says, yeah, Moolah title is so long and Andre undefeated streak. Yeah, and the quitter would win the title and lose it the next week on Raw. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chris also said, yeah, too many women injuries in AEW. Yeah, Rhonda. People's like, oh, I was like, whispers. Who are they talking about? Old Miss Poopy Pants, Ronda Rousey. Garbage face.
Yeah, when she came, it did set him back. It was fire. It was big, and it brought in eyes. It was big, but they didn't have what it took to sustain it, and she didn't have the charisma to sustain the popularity from the fan, like the common fan, and that's what screwed them. Is like if she would have had charisma, and could have sold that character that she was, it would have worked. Like Logan Paul. Logan Paul comes in, and then the average fan goes, oh, he's actually pretty damn good.
Right.
They might not still like him, but they can at least say, oh, he's actually pretty good at the actual wrestling part of it, which is the talking. His entrance is okay.
He does his moveset pretty good, too.
And I was getting to that. And his in-ring work, you know, they're like, oh, shit.
It's better than some of the fucking people they have in NXT. That's what's just funny to me.
Well, there's a reason, yeah.
I understand that, but people want to be all like, oh, there's no way. And it's like, yeah, but he's actually better than a lot of the guys in NXT. So what does that fucking tell
better
you?
than 80% of the roster.
It's like...
Maybe 90.
You gotta give the guy credit. At least he fucking puts his heart into it, tries, and does good.
Why is that guy showing his boob?
I think it's because he won, and he's very excited about it.
So he wanted to free the nip?
Yes, he really wanted to show everybody his one chest hair he grew. As Chris said, and Lacey Evans as well, and even Carmella when she first beat Charlotte with Money in the Bank. Chris says, yeah, and then they tried to push Shotzi. She fucked up at Money in the Bank. Then they pushed her at Survivor Series versus Ronda and got fucked up. Like, it was awful. Bring her back to NXT, build her back up. She lost her confidence, dude. Like, that's not nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
then,
she became a bad wrestler.
And then she had family issues happen, and these things happen. Or I think her dad died, or her sister got cancer now, and now she's got a knee injury. Like, just one shot after another of just having her confidence beat up, and she never got her confidence back. Like, you didn't see it in the ring. It was sad. It was awful. It was lackluster. And
then Triple H didn't help. He kept trying to put her up against top girls instead of letting her job.
Yeah, instead of letting her get her confidence back, putting her in situations where she knew she could do good. And the only thing they did with her was like, oh, well, we'll let you do that Halloween thing, with NXT, and you can host that, because you seem to be good at that.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, seriously, guys? Like, fuck.
Like, put them in a position to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Don't throw them in the water and say swim or sink. I mean, obviously that's a great way to do it, especially if they swim.
Right.
But
you have to know that wrestler to know that that's where they're at, though, too.
9 times out of 10, they're sinking.
Exactly. Because you have to know that person, know what's happening with them, because there's a lot of things that are going to be a part of stuff. So you can't just go push and expect things to happen unless you know for sure, like, I know if I do this to this person, their will to just fucking throw it in my face is going to be there. Because most of the time they're just going to be like, I don't really care. Vindicator says AEW Women Division is light years apart from that other company. Not really, Vin, but okay, buddy. Then the thing of it is like, I know that you're on the AEW bandwagon of whatever because you just hate WWE so much and the women and everybody else involved and blah, 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 even though Vince isn't even there anymore, yak, 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 yada, yada, yada. But they have such similar parallels in so much shit that they do that it's not even funny anymore. Like, they're literally the same company in so many ways. And I know that you maybe watch some of it, you get highlights, whatever you do or don't do. But if you aren't seeing the similarities within the company that you are all up their butthole about, and the company that you fucking hate so goddamn much, you're delusional. Exceptionally delusional about it. There's so many similarities of how they treat their women's division that it's ridiculous. The only difference is maybe Tony Khan doesn't have them get on their knees to get a spot. That might be the only difference. Because he looks at it like, well, everybody can be a winner.
Speaking of on their knees, whatever happened to that Tegan Knox? Haven't seen her forever.
Oh, well, maybe she wasn't getting on her knees as much anymore.
Maybe she hurt her knees.
Maybe she hurt another body part doing it. Who knows? She's like, I can't do the knee part anymore. I can give you some old fashions. And then she pulled a shoulder.
Mm-hmm. I do know that NXT has a really bright future in the women's division. But in reality, WWE is stale women's wise. AEW is stale women's wise.
The problem of it is they have talents, but they utilize them so badly that it just fucks them over. And they do it with their men too. Like, I'm not saying it's just the women, by the way. Like, they do some rank ass shit to their men's division too. Because whoever yelled the loudest about it not being fair, oh, it's not fair that I don't get a chance. And so they put him up there and they're like, okay, well, here's your chance. Oh yeah, we should totally give you a title. Like, nobody likes you in the crowd and you get nobody involved, but it's fine. It's amazing. Fuck. Well, the NXT people really like this guy. Yeah, because there's like 4 people in the fucking audience.
Yeah, there's like 300 people in the audience.
50,000 1,000 people out there watching shit, and they're all crickets, and nobody's doing anything except for maybe 10 people over in that corner. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Are you sure? Did you smoke a whole bunch of cigarettes so you could get that weird voice that you just pulled out of your butt? What an idiot.
Yeah, idiot.
Yeah. Idiot. Chris is now, even in NXT, there's a girl down there by the name of Tatum Paxley who keeps getting pushed on TV and then loses the title match. She can't win big one. It's super fucked up because she has banger matches but loses. Well, that's the point, right?
She's the blonde, right? That's in the academy or whatever, the U.
Probably. Chris says then they were going to push Sonya. That stopped because of injuries and that goddamn stalker. The Vindicator says AEW only has one women world champion, and it always has been that way. And their most winning champion, Hikaru Shida. Hikaru Shida is one of the best ever, and Toni Storm is also respected worldwide. Respected. That's hilarious. So you're trying to compare two people out of AEW with multitudes out of WWE.
I like Shida. I'm not going to talk bad about him. I'm just going to say that if you like Shida, there are other girls in WWE that are just as good.
True. At one point, then, WWE only had one women's title at all.
Yeah, the Divas Championship.
So now what?
Paige.
Now where are we? And so they tried to grow their women's division more, put more women in it, did more things with women, and said we need 2 titles. And then some dumb cow came along and fucked it all up because they were too stupid to realize that she was a cancer. And now they're trying to build themselves back from it, and they're still trying. Don't worry, AEW is going down that road as well. Because if they keep skipping that title around to losers, that's how it's going to continue to be. It's just a loser title. Who gives a shit? They don't make it important.
It is weird, the feuds that's happening right now for the women's title.
Yep.
Because Mariah May, obviously we all love her, but she hasn't earned it. Like, if she became champion, it would just because the fans gave it to her.
Yep.
I mean, I don't see her being champion.
No.
And I mean, this feud that they're having could have easily happened without the title.
Yep.
I feel like both of them are just holding it hostage. But that's how Tony Khan books. Like, when MJF was champion, it was over. Like, he didn't wrestle anymore.
Yep, exactly.
And I think we're seeing that right now with Swerve.
And they did that. I mean, you can't say they don't do that on WWE because they do the same thing. But it also depends on who the champion is. If you have a heel champion, like someone like Roman, who, like, for a while there, he did wrestle quite a little bit. And then he is like, I'm too good for this. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm a champion. Fuck you. Like, well, we'll let him have championships for a lot longer then.
I'm just worried to see how long this Gunther reign is going to be. Because Gunther already had that long-ass Intercontinental Championship. And the only reason he dropped that is to get the World Championship. And now it's like, oh, fuck, this could last 10 years. Well, there's no one that can compete with him.
Right. Chris says, no, this is a slap to face to New Japan. They don't do this all the time, but it's more fast pace. People's like, Eddie Kingston all about Japanese style. Vindicator's like, Hook's still employed. I see that. Always got to have at least one representative of Gen Z. Pickle says, right, although most women's wrestling opponents 80s were looking like Miss Rhode Island in the swimsuit competition. Yeah, I remember her War Games promo on SmackDown. Complete shit show. Yeah. Chris says, remember when they tried to push Peyton Royce, LOL? Britt Baker.
What the fuck was that about? That is the worst decision Vince has ever made, except for maybe taking Bret Hart out of the Hart Foundation.
Pushing Peyton Royce.
Without pushing her. Like, ooh, let's separate the Iconics so we can push Peyton Royce. Oh, the crowd doesn't like this. She's garbage. I have an idea. Let's put her in a tag team. And then Billy, we'll put her on a different channel. And we'll just pass her around. And then we'll put her in another tag team. That'll work.
Yeah, that's great.
Wait, so why were you breaking them up if you're going to put them in a tag team?
Right.
Like, it was the weirdest
dynamic that they ever did.
And then to just separate it like that, and then for Peyton never to even get that push, or even the opportunity, really. It was like, oh, here she comes, where Peyton's going to get some... Nope. It was over.
Yeah.
And it was over fast. And then they were both released, and it was like, wait, what? What the fuck was that about? You could have kept them as a tag team forever. Until she started popping out a litter.
Pickle says, you think Big Cass is somewhat a comparison to Sid or Dan Spivey, untapped giant just rolling through gimmicks?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Sid had a bright career, in my opinion, for the big guy. Spivey, on the other hand, is more what Kaz is right now. But that's just bad booking. I think Kaz could be something.
Right.
More on the Sid side. But he would have to be a little bit crazier. He's and obviously the character he's doing now is not it. With being the friendly guy that's an asshole. Because Sid was crazy.
Crazy.
Psycho Sid or Sid Vicious, whatever one you like. I like them both.
Chris says, yes, NXT only had Ariana Grace and Sol Ruco and Lyons. I guess they literally pushed a wrestler by the name of Dante Chen in NXT 2 weeks ago versus Brian Pillman Jr. He beat him, but went right back into obscurity. Chris says, no Paxley is dark hair scary girl.
I don't know if I know her then.
Is in the chat. Hey, so guys, AEW is getting sold to TKO. Cool. Chris says, no, you know how they are going to feed Joe Hendry to John Cena. Says AEW is shutting down by 2026 according to Sean Ross Sapp. That guy's a moron. Vindicator's
You big Sean Ross Sapp fan?
Vindicator says Sophia has sent one of her super agents into the chat. She says, guys, TKO is going to buy AEW. Trust me, bro, told you. Nice.
No. There's no chance they buy it. It's too expensive, and there's not any talent that they would get that they wouldn't just get if they just waited.
True. Picola says tag team splits, they normally always end up a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I mean, Otis, that's a shit show. Peyton Royce, shit show. I mean, some people like Shawn Michaels. I personally don't, but people like Shawn Michaels. So that 50-50 on that one, I guess, just because I don't like it. Just kidding. So that one probably you could say is a success. Bret Hart, I don't know. I think the Hart Foundation was better than Bret Hart, singles wrestler. The British Bulldogs. I don't think the British Bulldog did shit at Davey Boy Smith as a singles wrestler. I loved him. Absolutely loved him. But he was never a champion, and then he died at like 38. Who else is wrestlers that are... I mean, I've just been waiting for Ford to leave Dawkins.
Right. Vindicator says, but maybe I should trade in my secondary job at the sawmill and join Sophie over at the rumor mill. It seems they pay pretty well. People's like, LOL, give them enough time to read your fake news. Rob is like, any more good matches? Sean Ross chatting out of Shish Belland.
Yeah. Old Sean.
Not Sean. Not Sean. Stop talking out of his butthole, literally.
I have had words with Sean Ross before.
That guy's a moron.
Old Sean.
Pickle says, do you remember Xia Li had a repackaging and then she Ninja Flash disappeared into smoke? Yeah, it's disgusting, the shit that he's
absolutely
done.
love that woman.
I don't understand why Triple H, like, hates her so bad. Like, he's very, very weird about the people he picks.
Jamaican's, like, falling over.
Trying to get across the thing.
Just period.
Oh.
Like, he kicked the ground a couple times. He's just like, I gotta stay upright. I can't do it.
That's funny.
You'll see it here.
Oh, no, it's because he tripped over.
I know, but now he's in the wrong lane, which is a foul. But look at him. He's still running that way.
Oh, he might have hurt his foot when he was running. Poor guy. Oh, says what fake news? WBD realized AEW is getting low ratings and Britt Baker using her selfish backstage politics. You know, I feel like that is just some weird storyline stuff. And if MJF is that sensitive about his girlfriend, maybe he needs to not be there.
He just wants to get married.
Ben says, sources. Hard to trust anyone with the word sap in their name. That's true.
Like Warren Sapp. You just don't do it.
Nope. Robbie's like, what matches? What matches, Robbie? I don't know. Hey, that Jeff Jarrett, McDanielson, McBrienson match is going to come up tonight. Woo! It's a party and a half. Says they're going to give Bronson Reed a Mark Henry 2011 Hall of Pain run, and I'm all in for that.
The Hall of Pain.
That's really sad because I feel like Bronson Reed is nowhere near what he needs to be something of that nature.
Bronson Reed. I don't mind seeing Bronson Reed on TV. I'm not a fan, by the way, but I understand the character. They've always had that guy.
Yeah, that's fine, the character, but don't try to sell me some little tiny fat guy as like your big, huge guys from back in the day of what shoes he's trying to fill. Like, I've seen pictures. Like, he is, like, below the bar of standards of what you would even want to see in that situation.
But when you're changing the height of all wrestlers.
I know. It doesn't matter. Like, if they're all 4'11" and he's only 5'9", he's going to look like a monster.
Exactly. And that's what they're trying to do. So when he wrestles Johnny Gargano, it'll look like Andre versus Hogan.
Yeah, it's gross. Robbie's like, Triple H, he needs to take a break, a long break. Pickle's like, I would take a hypothetical from my source, old Jimmy Cornette. Vindicator says, I think it's more about the shareholders and high-level executives who like to stereotype their workers. Oh, Sophie's back. Sophie says, Michael Cole will move back to Raw once Raw moves to Netflix. I think he told us that on Monday.
That's awesome. So he's leaving for just a few months then? Is what you're saying, because he's going to go to SmackDown.
Probably. Says Eddie Thorpe is the most boring wrestler today. Do we even know who Eddie Thorpe is?
No fucking clue.
Are we supposed to know who Eddie Thorpe is?
Who's Eddie Thorpe? Is that somebody's...
I feel like I should know him if they're the most boring. I mean, if we're giving him titles, I feel like I should know who the hell that is.
I can't talk bad about somebody I don't know.
Robbie's like, fucking hell, D. LOL, are you that excited? Sarcasm is our friend. Pickle is like, that if Ric Flair had an earful by Valet X, I imagine he would take her to Space Mountain like MJF is the meal ticket. Sorry, Britt.
Right.
Vindicator says Endeavor and TKO have made that other company even more of slave to sponsors and commercial spots than actually care about the talent, hence why so many get released. Who's gotten released?
Well, I haven't seen any releases, really, except for
contracts have run out.
Jinder Mahal and that group. And but, yeah, I mean,
leave.
I'm okay with corporate greed when it comes to getting rid of riffraff.
Pickle says, but what have you done for me lately? Sophie says, if Shane McMahon joins AEW, will that make the fans care more?
No.
Why? What would it do?
I think the fans already know this product exists, and I think fans already know that WWE exists. Here's the thing, is when you're old, because all they care about is like 16 to 50 or whatever that demo is that they do. That's the only one they really care about, is the 18 to 50. what keeps WWE alive is the group that's above 50. The 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds are still watching the shit. That's a huge number that they have. So when you look at the younger generation, that's what wrestling's future is. And that's what WWE's future is too. They're going to be right under 1 million people watching it in 20 years. Mm-hmm. So, how do you rectify that? That's the problem that they have. So they're like, well, how do we get the younger generations watching wrestling? AEW can't figure it out. They're dumb lost. And so how do you get young people to watch wrestling? My answer is sex.
Yes.
Sex, violence, and we know that movies aren't real, but people still go watch the Avengers. Make wrestling that. Mm-hmm. You know? Have the Black Widow look like Scarlett Johansson. There, you know, people aren't going to see the Black Widow if it's cast as freaking
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy. If she's the Black Widow, people aren't paying, you know, $20 a ticket and, you know, $1 billion to go watch it. That shit's going straight to VHS.
Sophie says it'll be interesting if they will change the NXT announced team as well once they move to the CW. Yeah.
Get rid of Booker T.
That'd be nice. Ravi says, who really gives a crap about the commentary at all white noise these days? Well, it's all goody-goody, I kiss their butthole commentary. Who cares? Like, they're all nicey poo. Even on this, they're too nice.
I don't like this one.
Like, AEW's commentary is sad and disgusting. I seriously can't stand the guy that they have do all their main shit. I hate everything about him.
So Nigel is the guy that you want. So Collision would be a better one for you to watch. He's funny as fuck. He's an asshole.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
He's a heel. And that's what you need, is you need a funny heel. Corey Graves used to be that guy. Bradshaw was that guy. But now Corey Graves isn't that guy because he has to work with Bad News Barrett, or whatever. That's who he works with, right?
Yeah.
Group. And then Barrett's supposed to be the bad guy, but he's really not. He's watered down now. So, and I mean, obviously Barrett could do it right if he was Bad News Barrett. If they let him just be an asshole. Mm-hmm. But they don't. Especially with these 2-man teams. The 3-man teams are better, but you have to have a heel that's an antagonist.
Yep. In
there. And it's like they've hey, we have to get rid of bullying so we can't have a heel announcer or something. I don't know what the hell it is, but they need to bring that back. But Taz, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone is not the answer.
They're like a snooze fest and a half.
Taz and Excalibur are the same fucking dude. Mm-hmm. And then Tony Schiavone has completely changed. I remember when Tony Schiavone used to get me excited to hear his voice.
Right.
When I was a kid. I absolutely loved Tony Schiavone. And now it's just not there anymore. It was Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan. And Bobby Heenan is that guy.
Yeah.
He was the racist, bigot, fucking homophobe. Well, he had it all. He was the right one for the job.
Pickle says Marks just want the dopamine nostalgia hit. You, Pledge versus Shane McDonald.
Oh, God.
So Shane McMahon did want to buy the UFC at one point, like early 2000s. And Pickle says, I like Roosh, but he needs to be ruthless.
It would have been awesome if he would have. Because he could have outbid, well, not him personally, but his father could have outbid Dana White. I don't know what that company would look like now.
Right.
Dana White was a little bit more ruthless.
Robbie says WWE and AEW are fucked then because the younger generation are in this cycle of moving on to the next new thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 15 seconds. Like, well, if you can't keep their attention in 15 seconds, you got nothing.
Right. And that is fine, and you can still do it, but you have to have beautiful women to do it. Women will always call to men at a deeper spot in their souls.
Pickle says, have you met Sophie, our source of wrestling word vomit? And Robbie's like, Taz has no personality.
Yeah.
They all have no personality.
Don't get me wrong, JR is great. But the problem with JR is that, well, there really is no problem with JR other than he's old and gonna die.
He's old and he had a stroke, and so it kind of makes it so if he probably never would have had a stroke, he probably would talk way better like he used to.
Right.
But with a stroke, it's even a miracle that he can talk the way he does and still can.
Yeah. But the thing with JR, there again, is you don't have the heel.
Right.
That's why you need an old wrestler that was a heel. And Jericho would be the perfect guy. I think Jericho is the guy. He is the future of that position.
I don't think he'll ever want to do it, though.
Right, because he's too... They make these guys too rich. It really is the problem. Like, when you become too rich, you don't have to worry about things. Like, so Jericho doesn't have to worry about money when he retires.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where, like, the old guys, they got paid, like, $5,000 a match. And then they, you know, except for people like Ric Flair or whatever. Because Ric Flair would have been a great announcer. The problem is he didn't need the money to do it. But, like, Bobby Heenan, when he was making, you know, $500 a match or whatever. And then he became a manager and worked with WWF and stuff. They're, you know, he's making $40,000, $50,000 a year probably in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, this is a great gig, you know? I get to travel. I make good enough money to take care of my family. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But once they start making these guys rich, it takes away the love for it, too. And then you end up with guys like Roosh. The NBA's that way. The NFL's that way. They become... They're so wealthy now that...
it's gross.
That there's just the sport... Hey, I can't play on Sunday. Can we, like, change the games to a different day? I just don't want to play this Sunday. You know, that's literally their attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's still going to be the 1% that still loves the game. But for the most part, they get so rich out of their rookie contract that they're like, oh, this is fantastic. I don't have to do shit ever again.
Oh.
You want me to practice?
Want me to try?
Nah, I'm good.
Why would I do that?
Ooh, well, because your next
I
contract
can just give the
will be,
bare minimum. It's fine.
Yeah, but your next contract will be $500 million. You're like, oh, okay, I'll do that one.
I'll try a little harder.
I'll try for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get that big contract. They're like, okay, I'm done. I ain't going to practice. Practice? We're sitting here talking about practice. Not a game. Not a game. Practice. That's AI. Allen Iverson. Greatest rant in basketball history.
We're still watching this 3-on-3 match, guys.
That's Superman punch.
FTR
Rouge didn't sell.
What's his
Them.
face?
I don't know.
Orange Cassidy
Yeah, and the Sundance Kid.
are out there against Rouge and his buddies, whoever they are.
I forgot who was in this match because it's so irrelevant. I didn't even know the FTR was still around. Did you? I've seen the FTR forever.
I saw FTR. I said him just a second ago.
I didn't say, did you say him? I said, have you seen him?
Mm-hmm, they're in it right now.
Oh my god.
Both of them.
Never mind. I haven't seen him forever, is what I said.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I think somebody locked him in the closet.
Like R. Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
In the closet.
Go, girl, go.
You got it. Uh-oh.
Katie Moon.
Katie Moon, high jump champion of the world. Women's one lap. Hey, this is going to be that girl.
Which one?
The blonde from Denmark or wherever.
Norway?
Norway.
The Norwegian girl?
Yeah. She's the best in the world at the 400. I think that's her in the orange in the back. Maybe.
She's pretty.
Yeah.
She has really nice features.
Mm-hmm.
She's from Ireland. That's hilarious.
She's Irish. What if she talks like it? Probably. Big old brawl happening out there. Max Caster needed to be rapping more. Or did he?
He tried, but they interrupted him.
I don't have my
Sophie
earpiece
says,
in.
oh, you don't?
No, I could care less about what's happening on AEW.
Well, don't let anybody listen to it. It's right on your chest.
It's been there the whole show.
Well, now everybody's seen everything. And heard it all.
They've heard it.
We're probably gonna get in trouble.
It would have already happened.
Where she is. She's from the Netherlands, sorry. Or Netherlands. Right? For Clavver.
I'm pretty sure that's her, but I could be wrong.
She was the one in orange. She's the tall blonde.
Also pretty.
Mm-hmm.
She
She has a very
on.
thick neck, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. She's got her game face on. I think I saw a meme of her. She was like all smiling. She's really pretty when she smiles and everything. And then she goes right to game face, and they're like, holy shit.
Oh, she's fucking serious.
Yeah, but she's like, goes to smiles right to it. You're like, whoa.
This is the semifinal one.
Yeah. There's an American named Butler in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aaliyah.
Pew.
Her.
Pew. Is that pew? Pew, 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 pew. Oh, look. Mama has her boobs out.
Gross.
Mama.
Nobody wants to see a 60-year-old lady's boobs.
First of all, she's not 60.
She's totally 60. She had all. Maybe had a false start. Who false started?
Oh, shit. Well, probably her.
Ooh. Don't do it again.
Well, if anybody does it, they'll disqualify now. So the field gets one. Claver.
Why are they talking to her like all weird like?
Maybe she doesn't understand French. She didn't even run.
So who messed up?
I guess her.
How did she mess up though?
She was not set when she was supposed to be. That's why she's asking, I bet.
It's weird.
Just don't do it again.
Right? He's like, I'm done with your lap. It's like, good, get off my lap. Sophie said, so if Shane got his way, WWE and UFC would be merged a lot earlier.
Yeah.
Piccolo says Scissor Boys are being called out. Shame, shame. Feels like Netherland athlete is a hybrid of Anna Jay and Camille. Possibly.
Right.
Quite possibly.
That's what she looks like. There she goes.
Well, everybody did good this time. It's a semifinal, so it's like, what the fuck? Like, don't fuck up on a semifinal. You're almost there.
400. You do have to stay in your own lane. All the way around. Just so you know.
Well, it's the 400, so it's not.
The girl that's in the third one down right there is furthest in front. The girl in the green's pulling away a little bit. Or not pulling away, sorry. She's still. See? That's how you can kind of tell.
Good God, what's wrong with the lady in the very far outline? Holy crap.
Uh-oh. Or Netherlands girl might not make it.
Oh, there's something wrong with her.
Ireland. Adeleki? Is that how you say that?
I don't know, maybe, or Adeleki.
Adeleki.
Adeleki, I don't know. Right? You shouldn't be tired. You had like a 5-hour nap.
It wasn't 5 hours.
It was 5.
It's like 2.
5. Sophie says, I can't wait till the Olympics is over so I won't be distracted by it. I mean, so you guys don't get distracted by the Olympics once it is over.
Yeah, but the Olympics are cool, and there's commercials on. Like a full commercial.
Yeah.
AEW usually doesn't have full commercials. You should ask Sean Rossap why there's commercials.
Yeah, where's left after Sophie came in? I don't know why. That's weird. That's suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
No. That's weird. That's suspicious. That's weird. Anyways, Vin says, Travis, I think your great Uncle Jeff Jarrett is getting the main event spot tonight. Country music lovers rejoice. Good old-fashioned Tennessee concert tonight with Jarrett and McBrienson. Yeah, it's going to take at least 5 hours. It's going to be gross. Stupid.
Old Jeff Jarrett.
Picola says, Sophie, what sports do you prioritize? Sophie's like, I don't prioritize any sports, honestly. I'm more into TV shows and WWE. Picola's like, to be honest, I prioritize Flip Cup ahead of college football and the NBA. Wow, these athletes, yams. God bless the Olympics. Thank you, baby Jesus, for ladies volleyball.
Yes, especially beach volleyball. And long jump. You gotta watch the long jump.
I don't know that. Pole.
Yeah, pole vault.
The pole vaulting stuff was. Those ladies are pretty good. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy what those girls do with that disc throw. Mm-hmm. Like, there's some stuff that you're just like, holy shit. Like, that's amazing. And some of them just have really pretty ladies. You're just like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. She's so pretty. Ew. I don't want to listen to any of this. No. No listen. Vindicator says, so, they're building up Camille to be a monster, which is kind of an outdated tactic in 24. It's pretty easy to see how big and powerful she is, so this serves no purpose other than to kill time.
Right, and she's going up against 2 jobbers instead of just put her up against somebody that's already on the roster.
That means something.
Like Nyla Rose or something. It's 2 at a time.
Yeah,
that's rare. She just kicked her right in the face and ended that one.
Did they start the match? I feel like they missed out on something. She sent me. What is this?
It's a dartboard that I want for the basement.
Dartboard? Mm-hmm. Why do you find stuff on the weirdest fucking places that are probably like...
Because it's customized.
Yeah, well, there's nothing there. Oh. Your cart is empty.
Oh, because I probably sent it from my cart. My bad. You can just look at it. I just like the color.
Very strange. I just feel like you find things from the weirdest places and
they have PayPal.
I don't care. I feel like they're like steal your identity type of places. You're like, it's fine to leave. That's not my stuff. It's your stuff. Is it because you want it to be gray and white?
Yes. Like you can do literally any color.
It's fine. I mean, but you want it. Why do you want it to be gray and white?
I just thought it looks really pretty.
It's not that it doesn't look pretty. It's just hard to see it. Like the grayscale is hard to tell. In darkness, it'd be hard to tell. Maybe.
I don't know. I saw it on a Pinterest.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a backlit one, and it was digital. And I was like, ooh, I don't want a digital one. She's got her hand on her boob. Pinned her.
Boob, and then the other one, she's like literally like pressing down on her guts.
Don't you touch her hand, referee.
Good God. She's got problems. But here's like, but yeah, 35 minutes past the hour, McBryanson is pulling down the curtain on this show, so that means I need to head on out while the getting is good. You guys take care, and I'll see you next week. What's really sad about that, Vindicator, is how much you love this company and love this wrestling, yet you still leave during everything.
Nobody on their right mind wants to watch Daniel Bryan wrestle for a half hour.
But if you're an AEW fan,
No.
you have to stay for all of it and enjoy it all, every ounce. I know I'm not a fan, so. Pickle's like, the Snoop drip, he really has Noah Wiles on a jacket, probably. I would not be surprised. It's Lyles, but yeah, I would not be surprised. He is the 100-meter winner, quote-unquote. He is this year's Olympic fastest man. Robbie says, D, what you moaning about now? AEW, leave them to it to sort themselves out. Sure.
It's good stuff. Camille went to the wrong company.
Good God. And she has to deal with this garbage face that's trying to talk, but she can't. Ugh, and her face is so dumb looking.
Let's talk about the DMD.
Is it because she's not there to defend herself?
Well, they have to build up for it.
And we hate everything about her face.
Dude, it's not working.
Ugh.
She has to realize that she sucks. Not one person in the crowd's making a noise.
Nobody likes you, you dumb cow. God, if I could can't stand her.
Oh, no. Tony's talking.
No. Not Tony Schiavone. That's Burt Baker's best friend. Why does he look gross? He looks sick. Has he got problems or something?
It's a storyline. He lifted the suspension of Rick Baker, Tony Khan.
Oh.
So it wasn't real.
I told you it wouldn't be. That's just dumb if it was. It'd be so stupid if it was. Like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Mercedes. You can run, get a bodyguard, and get me suspended. She's going to be in Cobra Kai.
Brett is?
Yeah, she's going to be a European karate master.
In their last season they're having?
Yeah, the final season.
Huh. Interesting and weird. Let's see. Pico's like, sorry, yeah, I tend to forget. It's okay, people. I don't
She
expect
just
you
called
to
her a
remember.
quitter.
Because she is. It's
She
the
says
truth.
when things start going not your way, you take your ball and you go home.
She doesn't even go home. That's the point. She doesn't even go home. She just quits on everything. Loser. Vindicator says, love the company overall. Don't love certain swindlers or bring no real value to it. So I can't hang around and put myself through that kind of torture. Next week will be better, though. Will it? Vindicator's like, stay classy until then. Bye, Vin. Thanks for hanging out with us a little bit, Vin. Wish you'd stay longer, but that's all right. We'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. Feels like DMD Dallas Mavericks Diva. Oh, yeah?
You can trust me. I'm a doctor.
And Tony Schiavone is like her bestie. They're like best friends.
Mm.
As she said. They're like, okay, we have to like lackluster hug on the thing. Okay. She's like, awesome. They both qualified though.
18 days.
18 days.
I got to call in sick that day. So on August 25th, I'm not going to be feeling well.
We're both going to have a disease.
Oh, it sucks.
I know, it's going to be terrible. And my grandma died.
My grandma died. I've lost 6 sets of grandparents this last week.
Boy. Too funny. Train.
Yeah.
Commercial! They're showing their highlights, like a highlight reel for a match that's not happening until August 25th.
For 18 days.
It's a good thing they're showing this now. Good God, I would never know.
It's title versus career.
Mm-hmm. Title versus career. That's crazy. Think they're going to put the title
Ricky
on
Steamboat's
McBrien's
in it.
He's the special guest. It's an anything goes, so it's going to be anything goes.
By the way, Steamboat's one of my favorites of all time, but not at 75 years old doing commentary.
Right? Pickle's like, DMD. Danielson makes deviled eggs.
Yes.
DMD. Dinosaur magic drumsticks.
Yes.
DMD. Dildo Marquee Drugstore. Pickle says, sorry, y'all, I ate dinner and I'm lucid. Oh, no, not the lucid. Samuel Gates is in the chat. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
So Ricky Steamboat was good, but Cleveland Steamer was a legend.
Yeah. I have no idea who that is.
Who's Cleveland Steamer? Is that like a thing that like steams clothes? The Cleveland Steamer
This is a dry cleaner from down on 47th.
in Ohio. Was he a football player?
No.
A baseball
Not
player?
that I'm aware.
A basketball player. Who's Cleveland Steamer, Sam? People love steamed clams, though. As long as they're not in a lady's pants.
Bad breath.
Well, steamed clams.
Mm-hmm. How do you get 25 off?
What is that?
Oh, never mind. Oh, just a thing on Audible. You get 25% off if you buy 5 credits.
Oh, because you can buy the credits, but you get 25% off of the total cost of the 5 credits.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Cool. More racing. Look at this girl's hair. Look like a building on top of her head.
I wasn't looking, sorry.
Just
That
fast.
does not look like a building.
No, you'll know when you see it. It looks like a building.
You would think you wouldn't want to put your hair up that high. It would give you too much wind resistance.
She runs with her chin straight up in the air. Yeah, she has like a building on top of her head.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I'm not going to Google something. If you don't tell me what it is, I'm not going to take the time to Google it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Cleveland Steamer.
Sounds like something gross.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. And if people tell me to Google it and I won't be disappointed, then I know it's probably porn. And you're just nasty. You just want me to have a nasty history on my phone. It's like the whole, 2 girls in a cup thing.
Oh, God.
Exactly. Exactly. It's that kind of stuff. See? Yep. They'll ban you if you want to describe it. Well, there you go. Told you it was bad.
Ricky, the Dragon Steamboat.
He's more of a dragon than the McBrienson dude that's in there.
I don't see the girl that had the
Maybe they haven't shown
building
her
on
again.
top of her. I think that's her head right there that's facing him.
Yeah, Piccolo, exactly. I agree. Please talk about wrestling. Like actual wrestling. Every time he walks into the arena. They've known him forever. Or sports related stuff or issues. Exactly. Are you talking about her?
Maybe. Does she have a building on top of her head? Yeah. See it?
She just has her hair tied up so it's not in the way. Makes sense.
Looking like the Leaning Tower of
Piccolo's
Pisa.
like, these fossils on my TV. Yeah, they're called swindlers. Vindicator knows. He calls them that all the time. Oh no! He got hit by a guitar from behind. He's extra upset. He's like, oh, well, take anything goes, so it's fine that he's beating him up. Is this a no DQ match? Yeah, it's called anything goes. It's an anything goes match, Piccolo, so anything goes. Anything goes, anything goes. La 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 la, anything goes. Oh. What? What is it? I told you. Something gross. You're like, it's nothing. I'm like, I know it's going to be gross because why wouldn't it be?
The Cleveland steamer.
Nasty, nasty people out there doing weird shit, putting it on here. If you can't make the definition or describe what it is, you probably shouldn't be talking about it in a chat. Sam says, did MJF and Kyle Fletcher wrestle already? They sure did. They wrestled at the very beginning, and Kyle Fletcher lost. He got armed in the nads. So he got the big fat lose. And then MJF beat him up, and then they locked Will Ospreay in a closet. He was upset about it, but I felt like he really liked it at the same time. So who knows? It's the men's weightlifting. Oh, look at that tiny little man.
It's a wee little man.
He's a wee little man. Like, I'm a tiny little man. Feels like hit by recyclable items. That's nice how Ryanson keeps the eco-maniac gimmick alive. He's gonna steal somebody's Hey Dude probably and slap him with that too.
Oh gosh.
Sounds like Ospreay belongs in a closet. Good for Will. Pickle's like, damn, Vin called it. What did he call Piccolo? What was it? Which part did he call? Are you talking about the McBrienson Jarrett match stuff?
Yeah, that it's happening for the next 20 minutes.
Well, we already knew that was going to happen.
Old Steamboat.
Oh, Mr. Steamy.
Just what a moment.
What a moment.
It's just a moment.
All this is a moment?
Just what a moment.
Oh, not the moments.
Just a moment. It's important because of the moment, that it's creating such an important moment in the moment.
Ah, that makes a lot more sense. P. Cola says, so the movie now that people are about to crap on, Cleveland Steamer on it, if you will, is the new Borderlands movie. Oh, yeah?
Comes out Friday.
Why? It doesn't look that terrible. I was kind of interested in it.
I'll watch it.
Why are they crapping on it? They're already mentioning reviews. Okay. Like in a bad way? I don't know. I guess it's just weird to me.
Believe that.
Believe it.
Believe that.
Ugh. Or a picture-in-picture. This is an anything goes match.
Yeah, it's Jeff Jarrett
And
in the main event.
and they're out in the audience. And they stole somebody's popcorn. Although he did give him the popcorn, so I'm not sure. Weird. Weird.
$1,200 doll hairs.
$1,200 doll hairs?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
The new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold.
Ew, nobody wants a Z Fold. That's just weird.
I heard you were getting one next.
No, thank you. It's weird. It's like fat. It's like this fat. Like, who wants that? Nobody wants that. Or, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the old Nokia flip phone that I had that was like that fat. It was metal, and it was like this fat.
Hit somebody in the head with it and kill them.
Possibly. Pretty resilient, those Nokias.
My old brick phone probably could have killed somebody with it. It was like the original brick phone, like the absolute square with the little antenna that didn't pull out.
Oh, uh-huh.
And then my next one had the antenna that pulled out. Same fucking phone.
Right.
But it had the antenna you could pull up.
That's funny.
That was my first two. Then after that, I got that weird, the Nokia one that was a little bit more streamlined.
Uh-huh.
A little bit rounded corners.
Yeah. The one that everybody had, it was like a brick.
The one I had was
that
the
lasted
true brick.
forever, and if you probably still had it, you could probably still turn it on.
Right. Yeah, so that was my first one.
Yep.
And that was the one I was just talking about.
Yep. That's the brick. Oh, they made it down to the ring again finally. That's weird. That's suspicious. That's weird. People's like, why do AEW people want to bite each other? I don't know. I think they like to have diseases. Like hepatitis C and stuff,
Yep, that was absolutely my first cell phone one right here.
What the fuck are they wearing?
Did you have that?
Masks. Why are they wearing masks? That's weird. No, I don't think I ever had that one.
So the front popped off and you could change the buttons. That was like a rubber sheet. And so,
yeah, you could do it with the other ones too.
Oh, nice. And then that antenna on that one doesn't look like it comes up, so that was definitely my first one. But then they had one that you could pull that up too.
Right, yeah.
There's Snip Dog. Snoop Dogg.
Why was he wearing a mask though? That's really weird.
I don't know, maybe he's got some weird disease.
See? Strange. That's suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
That's weird. Dun dun dun. That guy's got minions on his socks.
Nice.
That's hilarious. That's funny. I know you don't like their faces, but I like their faces.
Whose face? It's so weird looking.
Sam asks, can anyone remember in their lifetime that a pro American wrestling gimmick was also a heel gimmick like MJF is currently doing?
An American wrestler that was a heel.
So remember in a lifetime that a pro American wrestling gimmick was also a heel gimmick like MJF is currently doing. So like he's all pro America. He's like, I love America. I'm American. Yada yada yada, and that's his gimmick. But they were also like a heel and like did dirty underhanded things like hitting people with his ring and low blows and whatnot.
Trying to think. I mean, I know Sergeant Slaughter kind of went a little crazy there when he started working with the Saudis or whatever his gimmick was.
Right.
But I don't think they did it as a full-time American, like USA, but we're a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so, that I can think of. There's always Canadians that did it. These guys were flying.
Mm-hmm. This sounds normally a pro-American gimmick is a baby face.
Mm-hmm.
Piccolo, see, why do you think Swerve should have stayed as a tweener and keep a guy in his faction to be beating up his opponent at All In? I don't know.
Yeah, he lost all his friends.
Basically.
Good to see an American out front again.
Mm-hmm.
And sprinting. Was that a gold or like a medal thing?
It's a semi-final for the 200 meter. People is like, whatever happened to the Texas Cloverleaf? That would still be a good submission.
Doesn't one of the girls use that? I thought there was a woman that did that, like Rack Rod or something. Some reason I thought one of those bigger girls did that.
Is it like they're standing up?
Yeah, and they put them in the figure four, but they're kind of holding them with their arm.
I've seen somebody do it lately. Who was that?
Yeah, I think it's one of the big girls. I want to say it's Rack Rod, but...
Maybe. But that's not lately. I mean, I've seen it lately, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, you'd have to be pretty strong to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Shayna Baszler or something.
Right.
Or her tag team partner. Zoe. She's pretty strong.
Mm-hmm. They're going back and forth. This is such a great match. Sorry, everybody. This is just not my cup of tea. I don't like McBrienson. Sounds like I think Charlotte Flair may have done the standing cloverleaf. I don't think Charlotte's ever really done the standing, but maybe she has before. I don't know. I don't remember doing it when I've seen it, but... Oh, they ended it already. Oh, good for them. Jeff Jarrett lost.
No, of course he did.
McBrienson won. Oh, no, not that side. Ouch. Well, at least he's got one guy down there, I guess. Pickle's like all the Jarrett blood, I suppose. Probably. He's old, so he's got, very thin skin.
All sorts of blood and guts.
All the guts of blood.
Bleeding out of his chin.
Oh my. People's like, swerve when I drive. Yeah, swerving and driving.
Oh, a lot of clapping going on. A lot of sportsmanship. That's what we want to see.
Oh my god, I totally want to see this garbage. So much so. Ew.
Nobody wants to see this.
Gross.
Oh, the sportsmanship. It's so
Why
great.
is it still on my TV? Can someone break it up? Is it Swerve? Did he finally come down to break something up? All the love and weirdness that's happening. Yeah, where is he? Where's Swerve?
He's the champion. He doesn't need to be out there first.
Why would he be out there first?
I don't know. They kept asking where he was. Where's Swerve? Where's Swerve? Where is he?
His music came up. I mean, I don't understand why he's not right there. He should just be right there. Feels like, me too. Me too. Ugh. Yeah. So much definition. Whew, good for them and their defining things. Good job. Good job. Good job. I don't know what. It's clapping about it. What is it? Yeah, I could see that. They wanted him to re-look at the move that she did, but I feel like they were just being poor sportsmen about it and just took it away for no reason.
Yeah, that's my opinion too.
I think they were just being poor sportsmen about it because they think that she should have gotten it. And it's like, come on, stop. Pico's like, oh no, a nightmare. Yuta on our TV again. Yeah, he's the only one from the Blackpool Club that came down to, like, comfort old McBryanson in his time of need from winning against an old man. Oh no, he's gonna imagine. So great. Weird.
He wants to get tested. Against Wheeler.
Oh, goddamn. Can we not watch that? Barf. Pickle's like, yep, the champ just made a match next week with old Yuta, bearded face.
I think I have flu next Wednesday.
Feels like, thanks, y'all. Good God. How awful.
He's so dangerous.
Oh.
Swerve's house.
I guess it's his house, he said. So, there you go.
Because he's so dangerous.
Pickle was like, I'm out. All right, so are we.
Off like a
All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us tonight for Wednesday Night Dynamite on AEW. We'll be back again on Friday for WWE SmackDown.
Smack him. Right down.
On Friday. We'll be here.
With smacking.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Thanks for watching Wrestling Gab. Bye-bye.